Retirement is Harder Than It Looks by Macgyver644200. The first time we came back, the sun and the moon had risen in exactly the same place at exactly the same time. We weren't exactly thrilled about it. Partly because we were on a hot air balloon to Acapulco at the time. I'd been yearning to show Luna how to snorkel, and I wanted to check in and see how one of my old friends was doing. But as soon as the sun came up, we knew we had to get out and fly back. It was a necklace. It had power, but the spells on it were interfering with Twilight's magic. As a result, the necklace was calling 2 enchantments at once. That took the better part of a week to fix. We ended up just stripping out the enchantments and just making it a battery, as my sister had initially suggested. Not that I want to admit it. But that was alright, everything else was resolved and we rebooked our flight. By the time we'd landed, we noticed something wrong with the stars. Namely, that they weren't showing up. Luna said that could wait until we got back. I quite reasonably asked if she was sure. She snapped back at me. We said some things we regretted, and resolved to send a message to Twilight. She said everything was fine, though, and she had a temporary fix in mind. We left it at that. The next night, what looked like classroom sticky stars were plastered all over the heavens. All different colors, no rhyme or reason, just stickers. Before they'd even been changed into cardboard cutouts of stars, much less to twinkling lights, we realized this would not do. Back up we went, and Luna realized that just turning it into a battery had wiped out all of the stars instead of just moving them off the amulet, as I had told her would happen. Thus, while we recreated every star from scratch, I went to have a word with Discord about proper nocturnal arrangements. It turns out Discord had just been playing a joke for Fluttershy. She wasn't all that amused, apparently. Still, we talked about relationships, and I found out that Discord was interested in getting engaged. I congratulated him. Then I pulled Luna aside and let her know that maybe we should stay behind a little while, just in case something else went wrong. After all, Twilight had plenty to do already. We could help with this. That went off without a hitch, I am very relieved to say. But the thought of love and marriage turned my thoughts to the big love of my life, and how I'd almost undone 2 universes because of him. I'd go to find out more, but the portal there was still broken. I knew I wouldn't be getting back this side of a century. So Luna suggested we partake in Ladies' Night. I flatly declined, but I wished her the best of luck. Sure enough, she had a fun night. At first. It turns out that the bar was housing cultists dedicated to raise Katrina again. Ladies' Night was to scope out a virgin sacrifice. Turns out we both qualified. We decided to surprise them. I'd forgotten how much fun a bar brawl could be. I didn't even have to light up my horn, though I did personally congratulate one pink stallion that managed to snap my head back. He seemed appreciative. Also a little out of his depth for what he was up to. I wanted to post his bail, but I had the feeling Twilight wouldn't appreciate what Luna and I were doing. Still, we were having fun. Maybe staying in town wouldn't be such a bad idea. 2 weeks later, we found that a clue of Tetzelworms had begun encroaching on Appaloosa. We knew Applejack probably had the matter well in hoof, but I was sure she would appreciate the assistance. Still, what she didn't know wouldn't hurt her feelings. That's what we told ourselves when Manhattan was being menaced by aliens again. We trusted Rarity and that P.A.W family she brought up for some reason. But anything she didn't have to do... And from there, our schedules just exploded. Rainbow Dash had an outbreak of gremlins in Salt Lake City. Pinkie Pie's World Fun Extravaganza had the start of a diplomatic incident regarding the meaning of the word punch. Fluttershy, well, we didn't have to do anything on that one, thanks to Mr. Fluttershy, but Spike, Starlight and Sunburst's journey through the 8th dimension was quite the fun experience. We were racing around just like the good old days, back when we were princesses in our prime. At that moment, in the middle of a fight with some being whose name I couldn't dream of pronouncing, I realized something, and so did Luna. Did we really want to retire? I mean, sure, there were bad days. There were days where nothing seemed to happen, but they really seemed so minor. We'd never take back our rule. After her handling of the Griffinstone clutch down affair, Twilight deserved to rule. Still, that didn't mean we couldn't stay on as Princess Emeritus or something. Rent out a brownstone and Canterlot, dip our hoofs into current events, maybe advertise in the paper, free of charge of course. I would have hammered this out with Luna later, but that's when Spike saw us. Sure enough, Twilight wanted to see us. It was while Luna and I were trying to explain that I realized just how I looked to Twilight after Smarty Pants. Still, after apologizing profusely, we managed to put together our proposal. Quite well for something we made up together on the fly. And we waited. Then Twilight got the widest, nastiest smile I'd ever seen on her face. She pulled out a massive brown book. Luna looked at me, but she got nothing in response. I knew what that was, and I tried to beg for mercy, but Twilight wouldn't have it. And so Luna and I were verbally force-fed 3 weeks worth of our old schedules. Every appeal I had to hear, every bad dream Luna had to address, every injury we both received. Complete with treatments down to every pill we took. 3 hours later, we were back on a hot air balloon back to Acapulco, where we decided to stay an extra week. Twilight had everything handled, no need to help. We'd only get in the way. Besides, Luna looks adorable in a snorkel.
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.